Greetings, YouTube. All our friends at sea. That made no sense. Bam, we'll get back to it. It is Friday, the 14th. Oh my God, Friday the 14th. Yeah, that was stupid. Friday the 14th. Day 8 of my exile from employment. Yesterday was the 1-week anniversary. If we were dating, I'd have to buy myself something. Anyway, I had my interview a few hours ago. It went really well. I'm trying not to count my chickens, because that just sets you up for, by the way, that's the JP100D over the shoulder. That just sets you up for disappointment if you don't get the job. So I'm trying to keep everything in perspective. I did not get a job offer. Number one, nobody offered me a job. It was just a job interview. A good one, I thought. At least I thought it was a good one. It was a job interview, not a job offer. The one great thing that came out of it, though, is they want to do another interview with a larger group. I talked to one person in this interview, but they want to have an interview with a larger group next week, which I think is a good sign. If they weren't interested in me, they probably wouldn't have set up another interview next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, this would just be an awesome job. I am really, really pulling for this one. I would love to get a job offer for this one. This would be just fantastic. But I'm not going to count my chickens. I have been promised nothing. I've been offered nothing. I expect nothing. Instead, I will step back and let this whole thing play out. Like I said, don't count your chickens before they hatch. You just set yourself up for disappointment. I will just say, I really hope this one plays out. I've been begging. We had to talk about the big guy yesterday. I've been begging the big guy. The whole power of the mind thing got a little creepy. Remember that? But yeah, I hope this one works out. This would be a fantastic opportunity. And I'm in a good mood still, so it must have went well. Yeah, it's Friday. Went to the grocery store, bought a lot of ramen. You know, you guys, I haven't got a job yet, so I'm still living like I'm unemployed, so I'm not getting crazy or anything. Bought a lot of ramen. Had to buy some pop, though. I had to get some pop. I had to buy dog food at the very least. So that was the grocery shopping. A little tip from your Uncle Matt. If you're in my position where you feel like you've been left out in the cold, you feel like you've been isolated, you've been ostracized, you've been other big words I can't think of at the moment. If you feel like you're like that, one way to solve that problem, at least to take your mind away from that issue for a little while anyway, go shopping, like at a Walmart or a Dollar General. Trust me, if you want to feel like you're back in society, that you're no longer an outcast in society, which I felt for a long time, by the way. If you want to get away from that, go shopping. Shopping will definitely make you feel like you're part of the human race again. Wow, that. I feel better partly because I did that, actually. The whole shopping thing. Dog food, ramen, just stuff. I had a request on yesterday's video to talk a little bit about some of the guitars in my collection. So I thought I would, since somebody asked. Um, One thing you'll notice about guitars in my collection is that none of them are expensive. I'm not a professional musician. Uh, I thought I would go from expensive guitars to the cheaper guitars. I'll only do a couple today. I'll keep going as we go along. We got a long weekend. Um, let's see. What can I talk about? Well, let's talk about the most expensive guitar I own. And remember, I had a job where I made decent money, so I could afford to buy these. Um, this. Ta-da. This beauty. This is an Epiphone, if you can read the headstock. This is an Epiphone Les Paul Ultra 3. If you're a guitar person, you're going, it's an Epiphone. That's the most expensive guitar you own? Yes, it is, believe it or not. I'll explain that more as we go along. Epiphone Ultra 3, if you know anything about the Epiphone brand of guitar products. Epiphone is owned by a company called Gibson. Gibson is the big brother to this. If you don't know anything about guitars, think Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Think Slash from Guns N' Roses. Let me see, who else? Anybody who plays rock and roll music for the most part. That's a Gibson Les Paul, which is the big brother to this. This is the lesser expense. Those Les Pauls cost you about $2 to $3 grand. This one cost me about $700. Yeah, $700. The reason it costs so much, first of all, the pickups, which is what these things are. They're called pickups. These are what make the sound go to your amplifier, speakers, whatever. These pickups are actually the same pickups that are in a Les Paul standard guitar. That's why it's a little more expensive. It's got a built-in tuner to tune the guitar. Up here, you probably can't see it. This guitar is hollow, by the way. It feels, compared to a Les Paul, it's very light. It's actually hollow. The reason it's hollow is because this thing right here is what's known as a piezoelectric pickup. This is the same pickup they use to amplify acoustic guitars, like for folk music. This guitar can actually sound like a amplified acoustic guitar. That's why I bought it. It's the best of both worlds. It's a Gibson Les Paul standard, which is the cheaper Les Pauls, and it's got a pickup to make it acoustic, which is pretty neat. The other reason I bought it, remember I'm a geek, I'm a tech guy, is for this. Looky down here. It's got a USB port. A USB port on a guitar. Why, you ask? Well, this thing can plug into a computer, and I can record myself on it. I have other ways of doing it, plugging guitars into computers, but this one has it directly out of the guitar, which I thought was cool. That's why I bought it. I like black. This is called Black Flame. That's the top. Maple. Nice guitar. One of my favorites. I'm not a big fan of the neck profile. It's a little thicker than I like, but it's a nice guitar. Sounds great. This is my most expensive. What is my second most expensive guitar, you ask yourself? Good thing you asked. Well, let's go back in time. Back there. Back in time. You probably hear my dog yelping. He wants inside. I'll get to him in a minute. Let's go back in time. Back when I was in high school, which would be about the 1990s, 92, that's when I graduated from high school. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was this little old band from Southern California by the name of Van Halen. They had a guitar player in that band, Eddie Van Halen. You might have heard of him, Eddie Van Halen. He's pretty good. He's not bad. You know, he's not bad. Um, he struck up a friendship with a man by the name of Sterling Ball. Sterling Ball is the son of a man named Ernie Ball. Ernie Ball was a guitar player in the 50s who created the first custom string sets for guitars. Back in the day, guitar strings were like electric guitar strings anyway, were like telephone cable. Pretty much, they were thick, monstrous things. He invented what he calls them. He called them slinky guitar strings, the thinner ones. There were lower gauges of guitar strings. Uh, he also started a guitar company with Leo Fender. We can get into the history of that some other time. The company's called Music Man Guitars. I love Music Man guitars. Can't afford any of them. The high-end Music Man guitars, again, 2-3 grand. You ever heard of a musician named Saint Vincent? She's a female. She's a woman guitarist. She has a signature model. Gary Holt has a signature model from them. Um, Quite a few people. They're known mostly for basses. But back in the 80s, my point being, back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, uh, Eddie Van Halen met Sterling Ball, the son who now runs Ernie Ball Music Man, and they created a guitar together. This buddy. This is called an Axis. This is actually from a company called Sterling by Music Man. They're like the Epiphone for Music Man guitars. They're a more affordable line of guitars, if you will. This is the guitar that Eddie designed with Music Man. Um, I love this guitar. It is a beast. This is not Eddie's guitar, by the way. This is called an Axis 40D guitar. Comes with a Floyd Rose, which I'm not a big fan of, but yeah. Um, if you go on the YouTubes with the searches and the internets, look up a video from back in the Van Hagar days of Van Halen. Um, Pound Cake is one of their songs. Run Around. If you watch those videos, you will see this guitar in those. In fact, Eddie has a version that looks just like this, but it has 5150 like in stencil on the side of it. I cannot play like Eddie Van Halen. I am an amateur musician at best. I bought this guitar because I think the shape is just awesome. This is just the coolest looking guitar that I own, in my opinion. And I have another guitar that Eddie manufactured. He no longer works with Music Man. He works with the company, it's Fender. He owns his own guitar company through Fender called EVH, and he creates what are called Wolfgangs now. I actually have one of those too. I'll show it to you here soon. The one over my shoulder, this is also a Music Man. You know it's a Music Man because of the headstock. 4.2, this is owned by Music Man. Nobody else can make a guitar that looks like this. They have a patent on it. This is the mighty JP100D. This is the signature model of a guitarist from a band called Dream Theater by the name of John Petrucci. Petrucci, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I am not a fan of Dream Theater. They're not bad. I'm not a fan of them. I think John Petrucci is a great guitar player. I'm not a huge fan of their music, but I'm a fan of what John Petrucci calls a guitar, because this is an awesome guitar. This is his signature model in the Sterling range of guitars. Again, the full-blown version runs you about $2,000. He actually has about 8 different signature guitars through Music Man, John Petrucci does. This one set me back about $400. It retails for about $700, but I got it on sale. By the way, the Axis over there, even being a cheap version, can go for $1,000. I found that one on eBay for about $400 as well. That's the only reason why I have it. I found one cheap on eBay. Well, 15 minutes. That's 3 of my guitars. I got a few more. A couple more. Uh, I'll bring them up here in a later video. Show you about them. I'll show you another of my somewhat more expensive guitars. What you just saw are probably 3 of my most expensive ones that I own, give or take. I got some other ones in the same range. Right around $400 is about as high as I go when it comes to buying a guitar. And I don't have many of those. Well, there you go. That is Friday. I'm in a good mood. I have a crap load of homework to do for my college courses. All of it's due Sunday. I don't want to work on it over the weekend, so I'm going to try like hell to get it all done tonight. This will be fun. They're all papers, too. What are these people with papers? APA styling, 3 to 5 pages. What do you do? So I'm going to do that here the rest of the day today. Try and take a walk here about 4 or 5 o'clock. Keep that going. Yeah, but I'm still doing pretty good. I'm in a good mood. It was a great interview this morning. God, I hope I get this. This would be a great... Like I said, even if I wasn't unemployed, if I was making good money where I worked before and this one came along, I would jump at it. This is a great opportunity. And I'm lucky. I'm extremely, extremely lucky to have this opportunity come my way. Hope I deserve it. We shall find out. Not counting my chickens, though. I know all you out there are worried that this whole thing is going to go south on me, and I'm going to come on. You're going to open up YouTube one day and see me hanging from a rafter. That's not going to happen. I'm way too egotistical to commit suicide. Trust me on that. Reminds me of a George Carlin joke. Suicide is the only really interesting thing you can do with your life. End it. But no, that's not going to happen anytime soon. It's just that this is the first serious opportunity I've gotten, and it's a great opportunity, and I would love to have it. And now I get to sit through an entire weekend until Tuesday, and it's going to be a long weekend. And it's kind of funny because you came into this on one side of the spectrum, complete depression, hopelessness, the world's going to end. And now we're going to go into a weekend where I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Incredibly confident, full of hope, full of and impatient for the next week to come. So we see what happens. Pray for my Steelers this weekend. I'm not sure who they play this weekend. Look it up. Yeah, I'm in a football pool, so I've got to put in my picks anyway. Let's see. Let's see. Who do my Steelers play this weekend? They might be off this weekend. They might be. Are they off this weekend? Looks like they are. No, they're not. They play the Dolphins this weekend in Miami. So I don't know who you root for. Hey, if you root for a football team, put it in the comments below. Feel free. If you want to make fun of my Steelers, go ahead. I don't own the team, so knock yourself out. Well, there we go. That is Friday. I got to get to my homework. I got to get this crap done. Everybody out there in La La Land, take it easy. I will make a video hopefully on Saturday. I'll probably do one Saturday morning because I'm probably going to spend all day Saturday at my brother's house watching football, get some pizza, and Sunday will probably be football day as well. So I'll probably try to put something up in the mornings just to get you an idea of where my head's at. We'll talk more about guitars, talk a little football. That's all I got. 20 minutes of stupidity. You guys take it easy, and I will talk to you again soon. Remember, positivity. The hand. Take it easy. See you soon.